Okay, so today I want to talk you through how I get this great big drum kit through the SSL, through the Fusion, and how I put it all together, how I wire up the Fusion into the Big Six, and how everything works, how I use my DAW and everything. So I'm Alex Biggs, this is Soundbase Studios, let's get into it. Okay, so this is firstly how I do everything, and then you can have a little listen later on to some differences in the sound. I've got a ridiculous amount of mics, 16 mics. I close mic everything. I've got a mic on the bass drum, another one on the outside, plus a sub kick. That's that great big speaker. I've got all the toms, 5 of them mic'd up. I've got the top and bottom snare, the hi-hat, a room mic. I've got another overhead plus 2 overheads for the cymbals, so it adds up to about 16 mics. So obviously with the Big Six, I can't get that many microphones through the desk. It's got 4 preamped channels plus 1 if you include the talkback, but that's not enough. So I still go through the Yamaha 01V96i, which is okay. It's got 12 preamps that are pretty studio quality, not as good as the SSL, and there's 4 other channels which I can use. But that's how I've basically done it. I transfer all the files into Cubase, and then I start using the SSL Big Six and the Fusion. But firstly, let's see how I route all the drums first before I do any processing. So what I've done here, I've got these 16 tracks from the Yamaha 01V96i. And how I did that is, obviously when you record in your DAW, it brings in the audio files. So I literally just went in, grabbed the audio files, didn't export the project. It was quicker to grab the audio files, import them. So they're already pre-labeled. When I record, I always label my tracks so I know what's what. So they are basically imported in and they've landed like that. I've copied and pasted them a few times. Nothing's been cleared up, so on the last version of this I've cleared up, because what you don't want to do is have all the drum kit going through your tom mics. They don't sound great, so you want to make sure it's only the toms that are used. I'll show you what I mean. So on the last one I've cleared up all the mess. I could have gone a bit further, but I haven't got the time at the moment. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is play it. Now, what we've got here is I've grouped them all into the rooms, the toms, the snares and kicks. So then I can just add a bit of EQ. So the only thing I've done is EQ, and I've set up a reverb channel. So if you look at this, a little bit of EQ, and I'm sending all these individual group channels to reverb, and that's all the processing I've done, so you can hear what the SSL Fusion can do. And obviously I'm going to run it through the Big Six's compressor, so you'll hear that. So at the moment I've got, let me mute that so that you don't have any reverb, because it makes a massive difference. Now here's the master. Again, I'm recording in and out. Don't, whatever you do, push that monitor button, because that will feed back and it is a disaster. It's so loud. Okay, so as soon as I stick the reverb in, listen to it now. Massive difference. Okay, so now I'm going to push down the compressor. So that's the SSL compressor, and I'm going to hit the Fusion in a minute. Here we go. And you got a decent drum sound. You could hear the Fusion really widens it. Right, turn it off. and on. Off. Okay, so makes quite a bit of difference. Now, let's see what I can do here. In this diagram, you're basically sending from the Big Six into the input of the SSL Fusion. The Fusion is doing the processing, and then it's sending it out and it's returning back into the returns. And then what that means is you can use this insert when you want to use the SSL Fusion, and then take it off when you don't. And that's why I've used this external to get everything going through the main bus. You will need 4 leads, which were quite expensive because again I went for the Nutric leads, and they're about £20 each lead, so that's another £80 or $90. So you want a TRS to male, 2 of those, and then you want TRS to female XLR leads, and then that will work. So just factor that in when you're thinking of buying it. Okay, so hopefully I've showed you what the SSL kind of Big Six with the compressor and running it through, what it can do with a drum mix, also adding in that extra source, as you were, the SSL Fusion. So the SSL Fusion, personally, I think it just adds that extra. When you get to a level that's just really quite a good quality, and to try and get higher is really quite difficult. So although it's only a small amount of improvement, it just gets you that step closer, doesn't it? Because you hear these tracks recorded and you think they sound amazing, you think, oh well, I'll just send it to mastering, that'll fix it. But that's not the attitude. You've got to get it right at the source. So with the drums, you've got to get the player right, the tuning's got to be right for the song. Again, I've done a really big sounding drum mix to make it entertaining. This wouldn't be good on a country track or some sort of jazz track, it just wouldn't work. So again, I would change how I play, how I tune the drums, and what size drums, cymbals and everything I use. The other thing that I've done just to make it even more kind of bigger is I've used Ozone Mastering Suite. I've only put it on low and I've just run it through it, and exported it out, and you can see the finished thing. I'm doing a bit of playing as well to make it a bit more interesting, so you can see me videoed it, did a bit of playing. And again, these drums, I've not gone to town on them. These are just to show you what the SSL Fusion can do. If I had more time, I could probably get those sounding a bit tighter and a bit better, but to me they sound great. So anyway, that's about it. The other thing I was going to say was, if you want any drums recorded on your tracks, just go to my website and contact me through there. The things at the bottom of the page, so have a look at that. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, see you next time.